My unfaithful wife, she arrogantly announced. Listen carefully. If you file for divorce, I'll make sure you walk away with nothing. You'll end up paying not just for the legal fees, but also spousal support and child support. On top of that, you'll lose all custody rights to the children. So I'll keep enjoying my time with my boyfriend. I shot back. Do you honestly believe I'll accept and keep funding this kind of life? She laughed loudly. You don't have any other option. There are moments in life when the truth strikes so violently that it feels like all the air has been sucked out of your chest. This was exactly that moment. I wasn't only heartbroken, I was completely shocked. I stood frozen in the kitchen of the house I had built together with my wife, Elena. The same kitchen where we had once celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and relaxed Sunday mornings with our children. But today, it felt more like a battlefield. Elena stood opposite me, holding a glass of wine in one hand and speaking with pure poison in her tone. Listen to me, she said, her voice sharp and her eyes icy. If you file for divorce, I'll leave you broke. I blinked in disbelief. She wasn't emotional, she wasn't regretful. She was actually smirking, almost pleased with herself. You'll have to cover the divorce costs, she continued. Then spousal maintenance, child support, and forget about getting custody. You'll lose that too. I tightened my jaw as the room felt heavy with shock. Elena and I had shared 11 years together. We had 2 children, a home, and a life I believed we had created as a team. I had given up my 20s for our family, worked overtime, skipped holidays, and made sure Elena had everything she ever desired. And now she was telling me that not only had she moved on, but that I was expected to pay for her affair. I'll keep enjoying myself with my lover, she said casually, twirling the wine in her glass. And you'll continue paying for everything. That's when I lost my calm. Do you really think I'll put up with and finance this kind of lifestyle? I asked, my voice low and steady. She didn't pause for even a second. She simply laughed. You have no other choice. That laugh, that proud, heartless little laugh, was the moment something inside me shattered. But not in the way she expected. I didn't beg, I didn't make threats, I didn't even raise my voice. Instead, I looked straight into her eyes and said, You have just made the greatest mistake of your life. And in that instant, I knew precisely what I was going to do. The moment Elena laughed in my face, something inside me switched. I stopped being the husband she believed she could manipulate. No more acting like the understanding spouse. No more sacrificing my self-respect. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to argue. Instead, I became silent, focused, and determined. Because if she wanted a fight, I was going to deliver one she would never forget. But first, I had to be clever. That night, after her bold declaration, I didn't storm out. I didn't sleep on the sofa. I didn't even show any anger. Instead, I kissed our children goodnight, ate dinner like normal, and smiled at her as if nothing had changed. That puzzled her. And confusion. That was the first step in dismantling someone like Elena. She had wanted chaos. She had wanted me to explode. But I refused to give her that pleasure. Deep down, I was already planning 10 steps ahead. The following morning, I arranged a meeting with the top family law attorney in the region. Someone known for defending fathers and exposing controlling partners in court. I paid in cash to leave no record. I told them every detail. The affair, her threats, her arrogance, and her belief that she could ruin me financially and still walk away smiling. My lawyer smiled and said, Don't worry. You're not the first man to sit here, and she's not the first woman who assumed she would win automatically. Then he gave me a detailed checklist. Open a separate bank account. Done. Secure all important documents. Started. Prepare for custody. Begin recording everything. That night, while Elena was busy scrolling through social media in bed and smiling at messages from her lover, I was in the study scanning salary slips, tax records, mortgage papers, and insurance documents. She never even noticed. That was her second mistake. For weeks I stayed quiet. I smiled. I continued playing the part of the normal husband. But behind the scenes, I installed hidden security cameras inside and outside the house, complete with sound recording. I started using a voice recording app on my phone every time we talked. I began writing down every comment she made about the children, money, and the affair with exact dates and times. She had grown too comfortable. She had no clue I was building a case so strong and well documented that even the most biased judge would have no choice but to side against her. One evening, while she was supposedly at a work dinner, I checked the GPS device I had attached under her car. She wasn't at any restaurant. She was at a low-budget motel on the edge of town. And the man with her, her married boss with his own children. I captured clear photos and videos. I also saved screenshots of their conversations from our shared cloud account, which she had never bothered to log out of. The woman who thought she ruled the world was about to lose her throne in the harshest possible way. Elena began spending less and less time with the children as her affair grew more serious. She missed bedtime routines, skipped school events, and forgot important appointments. I said nothing. I simply stepped up for the kids. I attended every performance, every sports game, and every parent-teacher meeting. I carefully recorded all of it. When the children cried at night asking where mommy was, I comforted them and documented those moments too. Because in any custody fight, reliability matters most. And I was becoming the steady parent they depended on. 6 weeks went by. Elena believed I had given up. One night she said smugly, "You're finally acting reasonable about this. I guess you've accepted that this is just how things are now." I smiled and replied, "Sure, Elena, whatever you think." She kissed my cheek and left to meet her friends for drinks. I waved from the porch as she drove away, but she had no idea the divorce documents were already prepared. The evidence folder was complete, and her lover's wife had just discovered the truth too. Hell was about to break loose. Revenge isn't noisy, it's calm, calculated, and precise. The greatest revenge doesn't explode in one dramatic moment. It slowly dismantles their entire world, piece by piece, until nothing remains except the painful realization that they brought this upon themselves. And for Elena, that moment had finally arrived. The sun was bright the morning she received the papers. She was sitting at the dining table, drinking coffee and casually browsing her phone as if life was perfect. Until a knock on the door changed everything. I stood quietly behind the curtain and watched as she opened the door. "Elena Adams?" the process server asked politely. "Yes," the second he handed her the divorce papers, her smile vanished. I walked out of the kitchen holding my own coffee, completely composed. "Surprise," I said calmly. She quickly flipped through the documents and I could see panic rising in her eyes. "You're actually divorcing me?" she asked. I nodded. "On grounds of adultery, neglect, and emotional abuse." "It should be straightforward." She tried to regain her composure and scoffed. "You won't get away with this. You'll still have to pay me support. I'll get the kids." I held up a USB drive. "Not with everything that's on here." 3 days later, things got even worse. Her lover's wife, Sophia, contacted me. We met in private. I shared all the evidence I had collected, GPS records, messages, motel visits, and photographs. Her expression stayed hard. Then she simply said, "Thank you. Now I understand how serious this is. I'll take care of my side." That same evening, while Elena was at the office, Sophia walked straight into her workplace, approached Elena's desk, and slammed her own divorce papers down in front of her. Elena's colleagues witnessed the entire confrontation. Sophia didn't hold back. She loudly declared who Elena had been involved with, how long it had been going on, and how company resources had been misused for the affair. HR was immediately informed. Her lover was suspended pending an internal investigation. Elena was publicly shamed in front of everyone, but that was only the beginning. 2 weeks earlier, I had quietly reorganized all our finances. All assets were now protected under my name. Bank accounts were separated. Joint credit cards were canceled. Her car lease, which I had signed for, was terminated. Health insurance coverage for her was removed the moment she was served. Her card was declined at the beauty parlor, then again at the supermarket. She called me in fury. "You're cutting me off." "I'm simply protecting myself as my lawyer recommended," I replied. "You can discuss it with your own attorney." Then I hung up. She had thought she could destroy me. She never imagined I had already secured everything behind her back. Our first court appearance came quickly. Elena entered the courtroom wearing expensive shoes, likely bought on one of the final charges before I froze everything. She gave me a smug look across the room, but her confidence disappeared fast. My lawyer presented everything clearly. Her repeated absences from the children's lives, statements from teachers and caregivers, security footage showing her returning home at 2 a.m. multiple nights a week, and messages where she and her lover discussed getting rid of the dead weight, meaning me. There was also audio of her saying she wasn't ready to give up her fun just to act like a mother. She turned pale. Her lawyer looked uneasy. The judge hardly needed to ask many questions before ruling. Primary custody awarded to the father. Visitation would be decided later after further review. Just like that, she lost the very weapon she thought would keep her in control. Her affair had been exposed both at work and in court. Her lover lost his job and was facing his own divorce. Her family was appalled. Her friends distanced themselves. Her financial safety net was gone. Her children were now with me where they felt secure and loved. She called me crying, begging for a chance to talk. I didn't answer. 1 month later, I dropped the kids off at a supervised visitation center for her limited time with them. She looked like a shadow of her former self, exhausted, defeated, and no longer arrogant. As I helped my son with his jacket, I heard her whisper, "I made a terrible mistake." I paused and looked directly at her. "You made a choice," I said. "These are the consequences." Then I walked away. For the first time in months, I felt truly free. Hitting rock bottom wasn't a location, it was a mirror. And Alina was finally forced to face it without any masks, without admiration, and without any more lies to hide behind. The reflection was harsh, her lover. He disappeared the moment his wife's lawyers filed for divorce and claimed half of everything. He tried returning to his wife but failed. He quickly cut off contact with Alina. She called him repeatedly. He blocked her. Her job, the company let her go quietly under the excuse of departmental changes. But everyone knew the real reason. News of the affair, the public scene, and the workplace drama had spread. Her reputation was destroyed. She had once been admired and envied. Now she was simply a warning story people told. She sent me a long handwritten letter, 4 pages filled with apologies, regret, and excuses. She wrote that she missed the children. She missed me. She asked if any small part of me could consider giving us another chance. She ended with, "You always saw the good in me. Maybe you still can." I folded the letter, placed it in an envelope, and mailed it back. Inside was only one short note. "I did see the good in you. You made sure I would never see it again." A month later, I was granted full custody. She received supervised visitation twice a month, but only after completing parenting courses and therapy. She missed 2 sessions. The court noted it. Then she tried to postpone the final divorce decision. Her new lawyer requested mediation. I agreed. Why? Because I wanted her to believe she still had a chance to recover something. We sat across from each other at the mediation table. A flicker of hope appeared in her eyes. I stayed silent for the first 20 minutes and let my lawyer handle everything. Then I leaned forward, pulled out a thick folder, and placed it on the table. Inside was undeniable proof of her affair, her financial dishonesty, her neglect of the children, and documents showing she had already signed away rights to the family home months earlier. "Here's the offer," I said calmly. "You leave with your car, your personal belongings, and nothing else." She blinked in shock. "That's all," I nodded. She turned to her lawyer, stunned. "This isn't fair," I smiled slightly. "Neither was the betrayal." She signed the papers. "I kept the house, full custody of the children, my financial stability, and I rebuilt my life one peaceful day at a time." Alina moved into a small apartment and took a low-paying part-time job answering calls. Every now and then she still sends emails. I don't block them, but I never reply either. Because the greatest revenge is moving forward so completely that they realize they never held the power they believed they had. She thought she could manipulate the system. She thought she could ruin me and escape without consequences. In the end, the only person she destroyed was herself. Was this revenge justified, or did it cross the line? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. And if you enjoy shocking pro-revenge stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more gripping tales you won't want to miss. Every like, share, and subscription means everything to us. It helps us continue bringing you the stories you love. Thank you so much for being part of this community.